Hey, all you monsters and humans out there. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and despite being very late to the party on this, I'm bringing you a review of the final episode of Star vs. the Forces of Evil, episode 37 of season 4, titled Cleaved, which starts up with Star telling everyone that she has decided she will destroy magic. And when she goes to ask Hekapu to open up the portal so she can get to the realm of magic, Hekapu just kind of goes with it. She's all too ready to just go out. She kind of accepted her fate. And I don't know, this acceptance of the fact that she will no longer exist beyond this point seems very odd to me. I mean, I don't know. It just feels very weird that Hekapu just decides that, yeah, sure, this is the way I'll go out. Just poof. I don't know. It's the loss of such a fun character who could be stern at times but would also be so interesting. Just to lose her like it's nothing. And even Marco kind of comments on this like, don't you run off magic? But Hecabu's just like, yeah, I kind of figured I'd go out like this. I don't know, it just doesn't sit as well for me as I kind of thought it would. But that's the end of Hekapu. That's the last thing you see of Hekapu. Her just saying, yeah, I figured I'd go out like this. So Star opens the portal to the realm of magic, and Eclipse and Moon kind of try to talk her out to her out of it for a little bit, but Star puts her foot down that magic has to be destroyed. It's the only way to really stop all the ailments her friends are going through, the rampage that the Solarian warriors are doing. It really is the only way because they have no other way to defeat Mina and her forces. So Marco takes the wand so he can go into battle with Star, and they both go into the realm of magic hand in hand. And as Star prepares to recite the whispering spell, we see Marco is still downing some of the pudding that Glossric ordered for them. And Star starts to kind of lose herself to the magic. But Marco realizes he's still lucid because of the pudding. So he feeds it to Star, and Star comments on the fact that it's just like, well, why does Glossric never just tell me things? However, they did end up being confronted by Tom on the black unicorn, having completely been taken over by the magic. But Marco tells Star to go and recite the whispering spell to destroy her family's legacy while he brings back Tom from the brink. Meanwhile, we see that King River is and Eddie are actually trying to take Globgor to the magic temple in order to get him all healed up before he basically perishes. But they end up being confronted by Mina Loveberry, with both Eddie and River kind of spilling the beans about, the fact that Moon and Eclipse are probably within the realm of magic. So Mina sends her troops to pull out the temple so she can infiltrate the realm. And while Star does her best to destroy the realm of magic with the whispering spell, she's unable to exert enough power to completely destroy it. But Moon and Eclipse come in order to actually aid Star, feeling that, their family has kind of done enough with their magic to kind of ruin a lot of people's lives to a certain degree. So they decide that the Age of Queens should come to an end. Meanwhile, Marco's actually having a bit of a hard time going up against Tom because he's just not really proficient with the wand, nor should he be. But he does actually manage to lunge at Tom and feed him the pudding, only to be impaled by the unicorn. And while Tom manages to be pulled from the brink, Marco is, basically tainted with the dark magic, although he just kind of plays it off and zips up his hoodie. And that's kind of the end of that. I thought the stab would come into play later down the line, but it really doesn't. It's just there, then it's done, which is very unfortunate. Like, it feels like it never even should have happened if it wasn't actually gonna matter. Um, but the unicorn, sensing that Star and her family are trying to destroy the realm of magic, it goes, racing after Star in order to prevent the destruction of the realm. Yeah, and meanwhile, we actually get to see Star, Moon, Eclipsa, all reciting the Whispering spell in order to destroy the realm of magic, and they start to turn into their human forms. Star, Moon, and even Eclipsa for the first time and last time for the most part. And even Glossaric shows up to give the order to Meteora that it's finally time for her to dip down and attain her human form. And so they all recite the Whispering spell, and all the various past queens of Muni also come in, with Moon seeing her mother for the first, last time ever past this point. And even Eclipse ends up seeing her mother Solaria, but all the queens kind of show their support in the destruction of magic. Meanwhile, Mina is ready to infiltrate the realm of magic as her troops pull out the temple, and she, goes diving in. And as the realm of magic starts to crumble, she goes on the attack on the various butterfly family members. But once she notices Solaria, she ends up being distracted and attacked, and begs for Solaria's help, only for Solaria to just turn away from Mina, not showing any real support to the very thing that she created. Honestly, I would have loved to see more with Solaria and Mina, but that's not the name of the game here. It's wrap it up, bring things to an end, get it over and done with. And as the various dark unicorns go racing in to stop the butterfly family, Tom and Marco confront the dark unicorn in order to stop it. But before it can attack them, it ends up being affected by the Whispering spell and destroyed along with the various other unicorns, including the one within the wand. And it creates this massive destruction as magic is starting to just lose itself. Although Glossary kind of takes joy in this, and he's just like, you actually managed to pull it off. And so the various Muni queens of the past start to fade, with Moon giving a tearful goodbye to a certain degree to her mother, and even Solaria has a moment with her own grandchild, showing that, despite her monster-hating ways, she's still actually happy to see that she has a grandchild alive and well. And, Glossaric just gives the, hey, everything, that's it, that's the end of it, everything's done from here on out. And Star kind of wonders what's going to happen with Glossaric. And he just says, good captain goes down with the ship. Like, he just kind of is okay with this. And it really makes me wonder what his comment to Meteora that one time was, that magic was in good hands. It made it sound like, magic was never truly going to be destroyed, but this is the end of magic. And Moon tells Star to come with her to go back to Muni, but Star tries her best to convince Marco to go back through the Earth portal. But he starts to wonder, hey Star, what's going to happen to you? What's the plan for meeting up later down the line? But Star just tells him to go, and Marco kind of realizes that's it. This is probably the last we'll ever see of each other. And they just have this very tear-felt, tragic goodbye to each other. And while Star does manage to be brought back from the realm of magic, she decides to go back, as she doesn't want to leave the person that she loves, despite Moon just begging Star to stay. And while she does manage to make it into the realm of magic for the last time, Glossaric tells her, hey, the Earth portal closed a little while ago. However, Marco is still here. And, they have this one last moment as they're trapped here, and it's very sweet and it's very touching as they kind of embrace, as Star, her cheeks start to light up, and even Marco's start to light up as well. And this swirl, this last little energy of magic, this last little magic spell, kind of, this last wish start to initiate. And next thing you know, Star's back on Muni, on just on a crocodile. And when Moon finally manages to wake her up, she hugs her mom, happy to see her. But Star laments the fact that she's no longer with Marco. She couldn't stay with him. But, Moon points out the very fact that the Solarian warriors have been stopped. That's it. Star did it. She stopped the monsters from getting hurt as she waves to Buff Frog. And Moon tells her that, despite everything, hey, you did it. You saved everyone. Let's go see your family. And, we get to see that Globgor and Eclipse and Meteora are alive and well, and even so is Mina Loveberry. For better or for worse, she's still alive and okay. And while Moon tries to kind of bury the hatchet to say, Mina, you're not well. Let me help you. I shouldn't have let this go as far as it did. That was a mistake. Mina is still just off her rocker. She still just wants to continue on the fight for the most part. And she says that she still has ideas to just continue her reign of terror for the most part. So despite the fact that, she can no longer fight against the monsters the way she used to, she says that she has ideas on how to continue the fight. Despite the fact that even she might be gone one day, her ideas will live on, which is very ominous, but it's just like, well, she's crazy. She's off her rocker. That's the end of Mina Loveberry. Which, honestly, I don't know. It's a very conflicting feeling that I got from that conclusion to the showdown with Mina, which was very much a non-conclusion for the most part. And, even Moon kind of has a non-resolution to her whole issue of the fact that she kind of betrayed Star for the most part. And she apologizes to Star profoundly. But Star just kind of says, look, we're no longer queens. We've kind of paid our dues on that. Now we just get to be a normal family. And if anything, a family that's just open and honest with each other, which, that's a lot of maturity from Star, especially considering where she started from. Where she's at now is just a long way and a lot of development on her end. But it honestly feels a little bit unfortunate that Moon chose to go that route. There's always going to be that part in the back of my mind. It's just like Moon kind of betrayed her daughter, and it wasn't great. But we also see something that kind of confuses me to a certain degree, that the fact that, despite the fact that magic no longer exists, Ponyhead still can float, Seahorse can still float, so some form of magic has to still exist, or else they couldn't really function the way that they do. But Star kind of laments the fact to Ponyhead, after checking up on him, that, hey, Marco's gone and all our friends are now back in their home dimensions now. That's it. We'll never see any of them. And so she wants just kind of some form of confirmation that everyone's going to be all right. So Ponyhead and her just kind of engage in kind of what ifs of what's going on with all of their friends. With Kelly being back home with her dog friend, going on epic adventures, Talon, just living it up, talking it over with girls about the adventures he's had, and the fact that the Magical High Commission is out of commission. What a just mediocre end to them for the most part. Like, they weren't the best people, especially in regards to how they chose to do things up until the end, but dang, that's really unfortunate. That this is just how it comes to an end for them, to Omnitraxus and, Romulus, and Hecapoo for the most part. She's gone as well. That's the end of it for her. But, even with all the fun they have of speculating, Star kind of notes the fact that she misses Marco. She's really sad not to have him in her life anymore. But Tom bursts in and is just like, "Sorry, I gotta show you something." This weird kind of portal-like thing out in the sky. And back at Brita's Tacos, which is collapsed under the, pool of, destroyed magic, we see, this news interview going where, Sensei is just like, I don't need to talk to you. But, Marco's parents come in to see that he's okay and make sure he's fine. And, Jana is actually fine back on Earth. And she even goes on to, ask, where's Star? And Marco tells her, like, well, Star's gone. We're separated now. She's back on Muni and we'll probably never see her again. And we get a nice little confirmation from Jana that, Star may be gone, but I'll still be your friend, Diaz. So it shows that in the end, Jana actually did care for Marco in her own special way. But she then points out the same thing that Star was shown by Tom, this portal in the sky. And, Marco goes racing to it, Star goes racing to it, but it seems to implode before Marco can get to it. And he just starts to break down for a bit, only to realize that he's standing across from Star, and the two worlds have combined into one. Muni and Earth are now one whole entity, magically. And, that's it. The two worlds have become one, for better or for worse. No matter what, from here on out, Star and Marco will be forever together, no matter what. A good episode, a good conclusion, but not the best. For me, it's not the best. It was decent, it was fairly good, but it just kind of felt okay. It was a nice end. Not the end I wanted, though. I mean, I feel that ultimately, in the end, there were expectations that I was building up. And on my part, that was a mistake. This story never really was one for just kind of going in that one direction that I always expected, or anyone really expected. It kind of went its own way, for better or for worse. Not a bad series as a whole. I loved it. It's just that, in the end, Star versus the Forces of Evil, I don't think will be one of my favorite series. It'll be a good series that I remember fondly. And I guess that's all you can really hope for. It wasn't canceled out of nowhere. I don't know if the ending was rushed or not. It seems, I don't know. I really don't know in the end. Because the choice to just up and destroy magic this way, I don't know. I really don't know how my feelings are on this at the very end. But I'm okay with it. Not satisfied, but I can accept it. But tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. How do you feel about this conclusion? How do you feel about Star Versus as a whole? Do you feel that this ending was rushed? Do you wish there was more that they did? I am honestly not sure how I feel about Star just destroying magic and the fact that now Earth and Muni are now one, because we see the very havoc it wreaks on the population because of this. So I'm kind of conflicted. And I want to know, are you feeling the same way I am? Just kind of conflicted about this ending. I don't hate it. I'm just not in love with it. I'm okay with it. I'm just not in love with it. That's all I really can say about it. I wasn't blown away. I wasn't mesmerized. I had fun. No, that's no questions asked about that there. But I don't think I'll take away what some other people took away. And that's unfortunate in the end. But tell me your thoughts on this in the comment section below. How do you feel about the loss of magic? How do you feel about the end with Star and Marco finally coming together? How do you feel about the fact that it still feels like magic still exists in this world for the most part? Just not in the hands of people as we've seen Star and her family wield. It just raises more questions than it really answers for me. But, you know, what can you do? That's the end. But hey, if you liked this review, feel free to leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to leave me a dislike, as I was kind of a downer on this one. I wasn't really enthused about it because it feels like a melancholic end for me. Like, well, that's the end. There's no more. It didn't get cut short. It just ended. And that's how I feel. It's just an end. Hey, if you liked it, more power to you. At least you got something better than what I got. Maybe I'm just getting too old for this kind of stuff, but I don't know. I don't feel like you're ever too old for good media. But again, rate this video. If you want to see more videos from me in general, just subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you can maybe find another series that you might like me to review. Because I'm definitely going to review Amphibia when it comes out, as well as Infinity Train. You know, I'm really looking forward to those two series. But, you know, subscribe and hit the bell icon. If you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I'm everywhere, for better or for worse. And, well, until the next time you feel like coming around, just remember that our bonds will always be there through the power of love and magic. I'm going to bed. Bye-bye.